Just stopped by the 7-Eleven and now got a new companion with me to keep myself hydrated while I crank out another one of these videos. Nah, I'm playing. I want to talk a little bit about buying a watch here in Osaka. I went to Dotonbori Street 2 days ago now. I've been in Osaka for a couple of days. And I didn't record any footage because Future Opal says, that's a lie. If I didn't get any footage of watch shopping in Osaka, then did I really go to Osaka? I ran it back and went to the famous Dotonbori Street again, this time during the day, and because it was 34 degrees outside, there were less people, but still a lot. The first shop was on the outskirts of Dotonburi, selling a few watches, mostly bags and jewelry. However, surprisingly, this was the shop which had the most pre-ceramic Rolexes. Moving to the right, we have a 16610 Submariner date, and a Polar Explorer 2 16570 with the black surrounds. Coming down, we have an Air King, the previous generation without the crown guards, and a GV green glass Milgauss. These have really shot up in prices, but I also think this one is priced a little bit higher than the market. An Explorer that looks quite small. A 5513 Submariner no date with hands that look newer than the lume on the indices. And a gorgeous watch, but one that never caught on with the integrated bracelet craze. Moving over, we got a beautiful GMT Master 16700, box only. Couple older Speedmasters, I still think these reduced automatics represent great value. Just look at the price difference between the two. I've always had a soft spot for Lehman Blancpains, and cool to finally see one in person. Next up, I think this was a pawn shop. A gorgeous 16710 with the Coke bezel. This was one of the most attractive bezels I've seen in person so far, and they're asking around 15k Canadian with tax exemption. A GMT Master 2 black bezel that's going for 100 Canadian less than the Coke. And another one that's going for 200 less this time. This one got significantly cheaper, but the grades were all Bs. I didn't have a chance to get hands-on with them, but it would have been fun to try spotting the differences between all of these. Although I'm not sure if I can just yet, I still got lots of learning to do. Our first 14060 no date sub, a watch I think will be a future classic being that it's the last of the pre-ceramic Submariner no dates. Onto a steel black Daytona 116520. Way out of my range, but cool to look at. Got more of these for you guys later. A Maserati blue Daytona, though this one is a solid gold case instead of two-tone. I like to imagine what the previous owner would have been like. And over to Okura. They've got a 79280 watch with a service box. Even though I've never owned this exact model, it feels like I'm seeing an old friend again. A couple of Franck Müllers, the middle one is a 6850. These things are selling for 1/5 the price of retail here in Japan. And a large selection of ceramic and pre-ceramic Daytonas. Getting some close-up footage for you guys and for my future self if I ever realize an immense degree of wealth. Notice the one on the right is a whole 10 to 15k more than the rest. An El Primero perhaps? A quick snapshot of what the 36 OPs are trading at. A Datejust Thunderbird next to an old gen Air King next to a non-GV Milgauss. It struck me that these three watches will make quite an oddball collection, and you can only imagine what their owner would be like. Moving to another pawn shop, the Black Bay 54 is still holding quite strong. I think it's less because of its popularity than there simply aren't that many in the market. An interesting IWC Spitfire that's very adamant in letting you know that it's a Spitfire. Over to a 16570 Black Dial full kit. I think this is the price before tax exemptions, and here you can see me trying to check out the lugs to see how the polishing was done, if any. However, with the camera this far away, I didn't get very far. These next couple of watches are for those of you that are into ceramics, giving you a snapshot of what they're being sold for here in Osaka, Japan. My god, it was packed full of tourists. Like there's no breathing room. It's like if I'm right here, there's a person right here, and you're just trying to squeeze through both sides. Dotonbori is one of those streets where there's like an overhead enclosure, and there's shops on both sides, 2 stories, and there are a lot of secondhand watch shops. pawn shops, I think. Like you can buy and sell there. And a lot of LV bags, a lot of hike brands, Off-White, watches, so on and so forth. So you can expect to see a lot of foreign tourists there trying to pick up the latest and maybe not necessarily the greatest LV bags with the gold zippers and the brown leather. The watch selection was great. You know, if you put aside the people that you're gonna be trying to squeeze by, trying to you know, get them to not bump into you, and which way should I go? I think I'll go this way. Yeah, if you don't mind that whole shopping experience of like just being very cramped and there being tons of people, I think Osaka is actually not a bad place. There are a lot of shops that are selling discount Panerais, Breitlings, Franck Muellers, Tudor to a certain extent. I didn't see that many. Like, okay, I remember seeing this window, right? And I apologize not having footage for this. Maybe I'll try to go back and do some recording if I can. But there was this shop window. It's like a corner. It's like a 45-degree window, and it was filled with Panerais and Breitlings and Franck Muellers, and it's all at least half of what they MSRP'd for. And the experience was, it was great to see so many different watches being sold in one place for such good prices, but the amount of people that you have to navigate through is a little difficult for me. I much more prefer the Nakano shopping experience because it's on the second floor of Nakano. You're there, you're surrounded by people that sell watches, that are knowledgeable about watches. You are also there with other people that are trying to look into watches. You don't have the LV crowd there. You don't have the aunties that just want to buy the biggest brown shelled gold zipper LV bag. And the experience is quite different from each other, if you guys know what I mean. But yeah, I think Osaka overall, it's a great place to buy watches. It is a different experience for sure. And you know, if you're planning a trip to come here to Japan and you want to buy a watch, I would recommend you pick one up at Nakano. I think go to both, but if you're gonna go to Nakano anyways, maybe check out Osaka, see what the prices are like. You might be able to find some discount stuff there. Definitely don't expect cheap Rolexes. I think Rolexes is just, you know, as Watch Symposium once explained, you probably have a better chance of finding well-priced Rolexes at a pawn shop instead of like a brick and mortar, or not brick and mortar, like a store that specializes in selling neo-vintage Rolexes. Or even if you're trying to aim for like a ceramic piece, then this is not the right place to get advice on those, because I don't really look into ceramics a lot. But I think Osaka could be a great place if you want to buy something more left field, like Breitlings, Panerais. What else did I see? There were a couple Cartiers, IWCs, only a few IWCs, not that many. And I think that's about it. Oh yeah, if you're trying to find a Orient Kamasu, Seiko 5, like limited edition Seiko 5s, then definitely go to Dotonbori Street here in Osaka. I saw at least 4 shops that were selling Seikos, like Seiko Citizen, Orients. They were fully stocked with them, all under $1,000. Well, there's some limited editions that ran about closer to 2,000. But yeah, if you're trying to buy something like a beater daily, then it's a great place to go. They also have Kuwos. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's like a newer Japanese brand that's based in Kyoto, but they also had, I think, brand new Kuwos that were getting blown out, and they're about 20-30% cheaper than retail. So yeah, if that's what you're looking for, then it's a great place to be. If you're looking for discount watches that aren't of the most prominent brands, then it's also a great place to be as well. If your significant other, like me, wants to buy a bag or a wallet or a purse but doesn't want to buy brand new, then you might just find yourself there as well, with or without your own involvement in that decision. I'm rambling a little bit. I'm gonna, you know, focus up and see if I can get some more footage for you guys of that watch shopping street. I've already done that, so let me show you guys some curry instead. We went to near the south end of Dotonbori by Namba station, And we went to this store that had a curry vending machine. Both myself and my girl got curry. I got the chicken katsu. She got, I think, the pork cutlet. And it comes out of these vending machines that you grab the tickets for. They call you up. It's like fast food, pretty much. We seated down. It was like the best curry I've had so far in Japan. I've only had another one. It's like Cocoa House. I think this one is a lot better. The curry is black. We think they used squid ink for it. It didn't taste any different than usual. Slightly spicy, but the katsu was really, really good. And I stumbled across a Camille Fournet by the end of the night. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.